Coming up on Unpeeled, breaking news on your favorite award shows.
We're traveling back in time to celebrate the 60th anniversary of a famous show.
Buckle your seatbelts as we gear up for the end of the F1 season.
And a classic ballet is dancing its way back to Syracuse. All that and more, Unpeeled starts right now.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Unpeeled. I'm Kaylee DeCina.
And I'm LaMalfa. Now for breaking news on the not-so-golden Bachelor.
Gary Turner has been lying to his fans about his romantic life. He claimed on the show that he had not dated anyone for 45 years as he grieved the soul-crushing loss of his wife. However, recent reports say that he began dating another woman a month after his wife's death.
The couple lived in the same house for a while during their 3-year relationship. He also dated multiple other women during the 45 years. After winning the hearts of his fans because of his vulnerability, this comes to a disappointment for many.
I mean, I'm disappointed. This is so unexpected, and I can't help but wonder if this was Gary or the producer's decision to make this the story that he hasn't dated in all these years.
I mean, I've been watching all season, and as a fan, I feel betrayed. So Bachelor Nation definitely doesn't lie when they say there's going to be more drama, and I feel like the producers would have loved the storyline of him having a girlfriend, so I wonder whose choice this really was.
Yeah, I mean, it's confusing. They definitely emphasize that he was struggling with dating and moving on, but either way, these things always seem to come out, so I feel like it was just a matter of time. And, you know, Bachelor Nation really loved Gary this season for how authentic he felt, so I'm just curious now with this lie coming out if people are going to be hard on him or not.
We are only on the first ever season of The Golden Bachelor, and there's already drama. I mean, I thought Gary was the only exception, and I wonder if this will be brought up during the finale or if the contestants will be finding out kind of as the world is.
I know. I mean, I feel like if we're betrayed, I can only imagine how the women on the show feel if they're hearing this now, so I kind of hope they already knew.
Maybe we'll get a statement, but we'll see.
Hopefully he'll clear things up soon. And early today, Jonathan Majors began his assault and harassment trial in New York. This stemmed from a 911 call on March 25th in which his ex-girlfriend reported assault. Police arrived at the scene and noted that she did have minor injuries. The actor's evidence is currently sealed, meaning the media cannot be present during arguments. The trial may affect his acting career and Marvel's plans for the future, regardless of the decision. He could be sentenced up to a year in prison if found guilty.
Rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs is stepping down as chairman of his music television company Revolt amidst new allegations. 2 women reported separate incidents of sexual assault, with one of them being a former Syracuse University student. This comes just 1 week after a settlement of his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura's case. The court documents detail years of abuse from Combs to Ventura, but the case was settled just 1 day afterwards.
The new Netflix reality series Squid Game's The Challenge is facing lawsuits over the safety of their contestants. Many are seeking compensation for injuries sustained during filming, including hypothermia, frostbite, and nerve damage.
A spokesperson for the new series made a claim saying, quote, "We take the welfare of our contestants extremely seriously." Despite the reassurance, the contestants still wonder if the almost $5 million is really worth it. Let's hear from a contestant of the games themselves who opened up on TikTok about her experience. Now, Kaylee, I was very shocked to kind of hear that Squid Games was going to have its own reality TV show because the games in the show seem so dangerous.
I was thinking the same thing. Now, I didn't watch it myself, but I've heard on almost all accounts that the show is pretty disturbing. So to bring that to life definitely seemed like a risk. But again, we're just seeing more and more lawsuits when it comes to these reality and entertainment shows.
Now, the contestants said that they were experiencing inhumane conditions. The weather was freezing cold. They couldn't wear warm clothes, so they had to have the jackets that only, the company provided them. They were standing outside for hours. The company didn't really provide, the studio rather, food for them, and they just felt overall exhausted.
I know, and it really is so terrible to hear these things, especially because they totally could have been prevented. And I just think what's especially sad is that the players went into this thinking that they were just going to have a fun experience, not endure something dangerous that would have these long-lasting effects.
No, absolutely. There's a huge cash prize, but with just how, extreme this is, I don't know if it's really worth it.
I don't think so either, but we'll be sure to keep you updated on Unpeeled. And Beyoncé is finally releasing her long-awaited Renaissance concert film this Friday, following the end of her world tour. Renaissance is one of Beyoncé's most polarizing releases, celebrating queer ballroom culture and Black womanhood.
According to the film's official website, it's both a concert film and a documentary about the creation and inspiration of the music. 4 out of the 5 of Beyoncé's former Destiny Child's bandmates publicly supported Beyoncé on the chrome carpet. And the 2024 Brit Awards are making some changes for its upcoming show in March. The board recently met with multiple equality, diversity, and inclusion organizations in an effort to boost the representation of these shows' nominees.
Fans will see R&B in its own category for the first time after years of being included in pop. The board has also chosen to increase the number of nominees for both British and International Artist of the Year from 5 to 10. I think that this is such a good idea. I know that the reason behind some of these changes was that women were getting less opportunities, so I think that they're setting a really good precedent by noticing a problem and making a change. I also read that, after the voting by the Academy, female artists that should have been in that top were just, below that 5. So I think that by increasing the nominees from 5 to 10, we're going to see a lot more diversity in the nominees and see people who were just missing the mark.
I also think this is great for artists in the music industry because expanding these categories, that will allow them to be nominated where they might have not been nominated before. Award shows are also really important because it brings new fans and exposure and success to artists because it kind of gets their name out there.
So true, it really is. And I definitely also see the benefit in separating R&B and pop. It just deserves its own category, and now people won't have to choose between one type of artist or the other. They could just root for both separately.
And hopefully other award shows will follow suit.
Yeah, I really hope so. And when we return, Doctor Who returns to the screen for a special anniversary.
And our very own Alana Epstein is here to fill us in on an impactful music award show. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back on Peelers.
Welcome to an excellent episode of Live from Studio B.
Welcome back, Unpeelers. After purchasing the streaming rights to Doctor Who last year, Disney is now releasing a 3-part anniversary special for the beloved Spy show. Our Unpeeled TV reporter and resident Whovian, Ray Gomez, has more on both the special and the series as a whole. Ray?
Could somebody give me a big old NLZ? For the wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff comes the 60th anniversary of one of the greatest shows in TV history, Doctor Who. For the first time in Doctor Who history, an actor will be returning to the role of the Doctor. With David Tennant coming back to the show, Tennant is a placeholder for the future Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. This reprisal of Tennant's iconic role follows Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, who was met with much controversy from fans and critics alike. It's been a whole year since the last Doctor Who episode due to Whittaker's early departure. This placeholder Doctor has already added to the complicated history of the Doctor, as you can see here. Tennant is the 10th Doctor and now follows Jodie Whittaker as the 14th Doctor. Now my personal favorite, of course, is the 12th with Peter Capaldi, but that's just me talking. Now, the first episode, the anniversary special, has already released with a positive IMDb score of a 7.7 out of 10, with 2 more episodes to be released December 2nd and the 9th. These episodes follow the 14th Doctor and his old companion Donna Noble and her family as the Doctor faces new and old forces of evil alike. I can remember the 50th anniversary special back when I was 10 years old and Matt Smith and David Tennant saved their homeworld Gallifrey. I wish I would be able to regenerate and become the Doctor, though through Photoshop I can now. Definitely not as good looking as David Tennant, I will say that, but I think I hold my own. I mean, look at this, like, just prestigious photo right here. But over to you, Kaylee.
Thanks, Ray. That's amazing. We'll definitely have to tune in. And moving from TV to music, the BET Soul Train Music Awards took place last Sunday in California. And our very own music reporter, Alana Epstein, is here to break down the most shocking moments of the night. Alana, it's so great to have you here.
It's so great to be here. I think this is our first ever Q&A, so I'm so excited.
I know, it's been a long time coming. Now, first, can you tell me a little bit about the BET Soul Train Awards?
Absolutely. So the BET Soul Train Awards first started in 1987 as a way to recognize achievements in Black music. So Dionne Warwick actually hosted that first ever award show, and it was a great night. So this award show in particular honors soul, R&B, jazz, contemporary, gospel, reggae, and of course hip hop. And what's different about the BET Soul Train Awards versus the BET Awards is that it solely focuses on music, which I think is really exciting. Especially as the music reporter, we love a good music award show.
I love that. Now, what were some of the highlights of the show on Sunday?
Yeah, so let's talk about the awards, obviously a very important part of the night. Not surprised, SZA took home the most awards. She took home 4, including Album of the Year and Song of the Year. I mean, SOS was a fantastic album, Snooze, Kill Bill, so many other TikTok songs. Usher actually came in second, and he had 3 awards, and that's so exciting to have his name start to come up with the halftime show coming up soon, of course, in just 3 months. Victoria Monet, she won 2 awards, and let's not forget Keke Palmer hosted it. She was absolutely phenomenal. And T-Pain actually won the Legend Award, and let's not forget he was in Syracuse just about a year ago performing, so that was really exciting to see him performing on the stage. That was him just about a year ago, so to see him win that Legend Award was so iconic.
That is iconic. And so, were there any performances?
Of course. I mean, what's an award show without performances?
I agree.
There were so many. I mean, speaking of T-Pain, he performed a medley of some of his best hits, Buy You a Drink, and one of my favorites, Low. And I was really surprised by Maida's performance. That was one of my favorites. I had never really heard her music before, but after seeing her sing, I'm totally going to be listening to her music, and it will definitely be in my Spotify Wrap next year.
That is something so special about the award shows. Now we have new fans. Oh, I think we have a little voice log.
A little clip of Maida singing, so let's take a look.
Try to blow my mind. Think you should try.
Thank you so much, Alana. And rev your engines because we are recapping this year's F1 season. You won't want to miss it.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, There are no perfect answers, but you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Formula One racing is dominating the screens after the latest season ended this past weekend. Here with us to share more on which drivers crossed the finish line is our sports reporter Lillian Northrup. Lillian, thank you so much for being here.
Of course, I'm excited to be here.
So it seems like the F1 is all over the world. Tell me who took home this year's championship.
Yeah, so Max Verstappen, I mean, he's literally insane. He won in Dubai last weekend, but he also won in 2021 and 2022. So he's now one of 6 racers to win 3 world championships in a row. He's only 26. He races for Red Bull. I mean, he is imaginable. It's insane. His dad was a former pro F1 racer, and his mom was a go-kart racer. So I think it's just in the family.
That is so shocking. Now, were there other racers kind of following him on the leaderboard?
Yeah, so there are great competitors for sure for Verstappen, but he had 575 points in the season, and the second place, Sergio Perez, he was at 285. So overall, I mean, no one was really as close to him. He won 19 of 22 races. I mean, Lewis Hamilton, there are all the older racers that are definitely still winning. Overall, Verstappen's young. So, you know, we'll see how the future looks, but in general, Verstappen took the season, and I think he'll probably continue to take more in the future.
Now, with the season coming to an end, do you have any predictions for next season?
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy, honestly. I mean, 2 out of the 5 leaderboard people right now are only 26 years old. So pipeline-wise, there's really young racers coming into the play, and I think they'll be around for a while. But kind of cool to see Fernando Alonso. He's the oldest at 41 years old, and it's cool to see the dynamic of the younger players and the older players still going with it. But, I mean, 500 million fans are tuning in. It's a sport that is blowing up everywhere. It's in 21 countries. I mean, if you're not an F1 racer fan right now, you probably should get on board because it's a pretty cool sport.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Lillian.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Thank you both for that recap. And moving from the racetrack to the parade grounds, we here at Unpeeled are feeling extra grateful at this year's Thanksgiving festivities set record. Our industry reporter Riley Underwood is here to tell us what floated to the top of the charts.
Yeah, well, another Thanksgiving is come and gone, and the 3 things that people had on their minds this year were thanks, turkey, and the Thanksgiving Day Parade. This year's parade was the most viewed Thanksgiving Day Parade ever. More than 28 million people tuned into NBC to watch the 97th edition of the Macy's tradition. The record-setting parade featured 49 balloons, 26 floats, and over 8,000 workers in 5,000 costumes. But the parade hasn't always been this elaborate. Back in 1924, the first Macy's parade took place on Thanksgiving. But it wasn't originally a Christmas parade that was meant to mark. It was originally a Christmas parade that was meant to mark the start of the holiday shopping season at their new department store that had just opened in New York City. But this year's parade featured a number of performances, but none as big as what the NFL saw at their Thanksgiving games. Over in Detroit, Jack Harlow performed some of his top hits, along with his newest single, "Lovin' on Me," which is currently #1 on the Billboard Top 100 charts. And down in Arlington, Dolly Parton stole the show during the halftime of the Cowboys-Commanders game. The 77-year-old performed her classic hits, as well as previewing some music from her new album, Rockstar, which released earlier this month. But if you weren't able to catch those performances, there's still a Thanksgiving flick you can watch. Thanksgiving, the horror movie, has been receiving positive reviews after its timely release. Eli Roth's thrilling movie grossed over $10 million on its opening weekend, pushing it into top 3 on the movie theater charts. The film features Patrick Dempsey and TikToker Addison Rae and follows the murderous pilgrim that terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts after Black Friday. And if that doesn't get you intrigued, Kaylee, I don't know what will.
I'm intrigued. Thanks, Riley. And Syracuse residents are leaping with joy for the return of a festive show. We'll discuss all of the details when we come back.
Look at you, You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The beloved classic holiday show, The Nutcracker, is returning to Syracuse for multiple performances throughout December. Here to break down the show, where to see it, and what to look forward to is Broadway reporter Aman Mahdi and Syracuse events reporter Maura Vaughn. So, guys, I'm so excited. As The Nutcracker Christmas musical comes to Syracuse, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so there's going to be many productions of the show here in Syracuse, so it's going to require a lot of ballet and a lot of dancing. But that's kind of how it goes into the plot, right? Kara is the girl and she gets a nutcracker for Christmas Eve, but it wakes up and it takes her into a magical fairy Candyland, right? Yeah. And in that Candyland, there are so many candies from all over the world. God, I feel like I'm saying candy so many times. Anyway,
it's true.
And inside that Candyland, each candy performs its own dance. Like the Spanish chocolate gets its own dance, so it requires a lot of production and a lot of dancing for me.
Wow, who doesn't love the Nutcracker?
Yeah, it's a classic.
Maura, I heard that during these holiday performances, there's been a strike with the ballet dancers for one of Syracuse's productions. Can you explain what's going on?
Yeah, so this is not usually normal. This is a little bit of drama with the Syracuse City Ballet. So on November 10th, 8 of the full-time dancers wrote to the executive board basically saying, like, we don't feel safe doing these dance moves. We're worried about our mental and physical well-being. And one of the examples they're saying is the physical conditions that we're putting our dancers under and the student dancers in the high school, just we don't feel safe doing these moves. We don't feel prepared. So it was definitely like a big deal for these dancers to not really know what they're doing for it and not feel safe doing it. I actually had the opportunity to speak to Kara Connolly, one of the biggest advocates of the Syracuse City Ballet, and she was the one fighting this. And she said, quote, "We're hoping our story inspires industry-wide conversation about how we can give artists a stronger voice without fear of retaliation or termination. And we want all artists to feel valued because every artist is an individual who can't be replaced or replicated." And that's what she said to me. And it's such a strong statement that I feel like is really going to resonate. And they really hope something positive is going to come out of this.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for getting us that information.
Yeah.
That is, really great to know. And even with these strikes happening, where can people see the shows?
Yeah, so even with the strike happening, and as Aman was saying, they're losing a few dancers, they are still putting on this performance. So the Syracuse City Ballet, you can still go to get tickets there. You can go to the On Center and the Landmark Theater. So really, you can see this candy anywhere in Syracuse.
Well, Maura, I think you forgot one show run. Actually,
no.
You missed it by 15 years.
I didn't think Unpeeled was putting this on.
Oh, they are.
What's going on?
There's one. You just missed the show by 15 years. That's actually me.
Oh my goodness.
This is why I'm in broadcast journalism and not dancing anymore, but that is me as an angel.
I
but we
love
cannot see
it.
that,
Well,
yeah.
thank you for sharing all of this information. I wonder which Nutcracker will be better.
Thanks, guys. And in more somber news, on November 19th, we lost an American gem with the passing of former First Lady Rosalind Carter. Our lifestyle reporter Ryan Kongyu is here to commemorate her life and her contributions to the fashion of the future First Ladies.
Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter passed away last week at the age of 96. The wife of former President Carter was an advocate for the destigmatization of mental illness, a champion for women's rights, and a global humanitarian. Rosalynn Carter will be remembered for her passionate service and how she changed the game for future First Ladies. Carter understood the power of fashion when it came to politics, and her time as First Lady introduced a new approach to image making that is still used today. She was the one to shop off the racks and was known to carry a briefcase to the White House. For the presidential inauguration, she wore a teal blue overcoat with a grandfather collar and paired it with brown leather knee-length boots. This outfit caught the eyes of many because it was seen in full as the Carters walked during the inaugural parade. The first to walk the inauguration parade, the first to establish an office in the East Wing, and the first to repeat an outfit. Rosalynn Carter repeated a dress for the presidential inauguration, and boy, did that cause an uproar. Although her beautiful blue ball gown with chiffon material and gold trimming made a statement during the presidential inauguration, it was recycled from her husband's inauguration as governor of Georgia. This was not the only time Carter recycled an outfit. While at first many criticized the First Lady and questioned her taste in fashion, many are now recognizing her for being ahead of her time. Carter was the daughter of a dressmaker and understood the value of one's style, as well as the value of clothes maintenance. Many of was more likely to be on the minimalistic colors. Like in her lilac dress, she wore in her official White House portrait. Her reuse of an outfit is not seen as wearing an old clothes, but sustainability. Rosalynn Carter helped create a culture where, for the future First Ladies, they don't have to deal with this criticism for re-wearing an outfit. Carter works while in the White House. She created a new image for the role of First Ladies. Yesterday, former First Lady Laura Bush, Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, and Melania Trump joined Jill Biden for the service at Atlanta, Georgia. The former First Lady and fashion trendsetter will be missed.
Thanks, Ryan. Spotify Wrap released this morning, and we're reviewing some new updates. You'll want to take a listen.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Spotify Wrapped dropped this morning with 2 new features. The features Me in 2023 and Soundtown both add a new interactive element to the platform. They describe a specific user's listening habits and place them in a city that has the highest population of fellow fans.
Bad Bunny, Drake, The Weeknd, and Peso Pluma all reached the top 5 in global listens. And at the top of the charts, Taylor Swift raked up more than 26 billion listens, proving that she's still in style. We took a poll here at Unpeeled to see if she made it to our top list. So, Kaylee, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at least you and me knew that she was going to be on our top list, right? Some people just want us to stop talking about it, but nothing can stop us. And, it was no surprise. I was actually in top 0.5% of her listeners, so clearly I've spent plenty of time with Taylor this year.
I was in the top 2%, and I would have been in the top whatever percent you were, but I switched from Apple Music to Spotify in the beginning of the year, so.
Yeah, I think we're actually gonna take a look at my Spotify Wrapped, but my top song was Cardigan from Folklore. I mean, I could analyze those lyrics all day, and should we take a look at Alexa's?
Yes, let's definitely do it.
Okay, let's see.
Mine was I Miss You, I'm Sorry by Gracie Abrams. That was my first top song, but my favorite song was Taylor Swift's Getaway Car.
Well, I mean, we could talk about this forever, but I guess that's all the time we have today on Unpeeled. I'm Kaylee DeCina. Be sure to follow us on social media.
Follow us on our socials at CitrusTV on X and Unpeeled_Syracuse on Instagram. I'm Alexa LaMalfa.
And I'm Kaylee DeCina. We'll see you next Wednesday. Stay cozy.